Hi Chandran, can you tell me your full name and what it is that you do at SAS?
Hey, my name is Saravana Chandran. I go by Chandran. I basically work for Java Development Technologies, and we are responsible for all the mid-tier configuration deployment. So what you're seeing is like one of our SAS deployment screen, where in SAS 9.2 the installation is basically an hour instead of a couple of days compared to the SAS 9.13. So
that's great. Now, is your configuration tool only for mid-tier, or does it also help deploy and install other components of SAS?
Yeah, it basically installs all of the components, but our part of work is mainly on the app server side of the things, where we configure application server and deploy applications. And this is the basically SAS management, SAS deployment wizard, where basically you can configure application servers, app, and it automatically deploys the applications for there.
What are the most popular apps that you work with in terms of deploying it with SAS? What are some of the big application servers?
Oh yeah, so we support JBoss, WebLogic, and WebSphere, and whatever the customer choose, and we basically configure it as part of the software deployment wizard.
In your opinion, which one is the most complicated? Before this wizard, the users have to manually script a lot of the...
Yes, basically, before the wizard, it is really difficult. Basically, you need to go through manually, configure each one of the app servers, and configure the resources and deploying application. It would be really difficult to do it. It takes a longer time and error-prone, and which is the one we got automated, which is really helpful for any of the SAS users using SAS 9.2.
So is the wizard only available, or started to be available in 9.2? If we had an older 9.13, the wizard is not part of that, is that right?
Yeah, the wizard is in the 9.13, but it's not in a complete automation. It's a very minimal automation. And whereas in SAS 9.2, it's basically a complete automation, starting from we're installing our SAS software all the way to deploy your web application and web app servers.
Now, besides configuration, does it actually do the actual installation of, say, JBoss or WebLogic, or do you have to have that already installed and this configures only? Yeah,
basically by default, we assume you already have an application server installed already, and we post-configure based on your application server which you choose. For example, if you are using JBoss, you already laid down the JBoss first, and the SDW automatically asks where's your JBoss instances, and based on that, it will configure for you. Similarly for WebLogic or WebSphere. And there is an OEM bundle available in the solution side, which we bundle some of the application server, which you don't need to have an application server installed previously. It automatically does it for you.
Now, is that the same for SAS in that you have to have SAS already installed, or would this also install SAS if you haven't got a SAS instance running?
It basically, if you don't have any of the SAS instance, and it's basically purely driven on the plans. Plan is what you want to have, right? So basically, you don't have a SAS, you don't have a metadata server, you don't have an app server. You choose that plan in such a way, and based on the plan, the installation drives and the configuration drives over there.
That's great. Now, does the tool help you edit the plan too, or is the plan in that XML file has already been completed already?
Yeah, so there's a planning app. Each customer will go to the planning app and customize the plan based on the deployment, and based on that, it will does it for you.
Okay, so this tool takes that existing plan and applies the configuration.
Yes, exactly. So, for example, let's say you have multiple machines. You want to distribute your application, distribute your installation. You can simply have multiple plans or a single plan, where you have a 3-machine plan or a 4-machine plan, and based on that you can install part by part on the machines.
What are the different operating systems that your wizard supports? Is it both Windows, Linux, and all different flavors, or is there specific?
Yeah, it supports all different flavors. You can use it with Windows, Linux, Solaris, AX, HP Unix. It supports all different platforms.
Oh, that's great. And going forward to the future with 9.3, I imagine it will be included. Are there new things that will be added in the future?
Oh, definitely. A lot of automations will be available. A lot of things we are planning for it, and since I cannot talk much about the future things, but I can tell you there's a lot more automations are planned for with respect to the deployment.
So is the automation basically taking the scripting part of configuration and creating a wizard out of it? Is that the
Yeah, so the wizard is like a user interface. Under the cover there is a Python script out there, and whatever the app server support, based on that it'll install it for you.
That's great. Great, thanks a lot for your time.
Yeah, thank you.